Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So videos this in 2025 are completely changing. The first one being TBRs, like I switched over to the jars, and I know it's only February, but we'll see how well that works the rest of the year. And going forward for wrap-ups, we're going to do them slightly different. So I have my stack of physical books that I'm going to talk about and wrap up. And then I made these little slips that have all of the names of the books that I read. And some of them are physical books. The physical books I'm probably going to chop down a little and then put them in this jar. This is going to be like the jar that I've read throughout the year. And any digital TBR does not get added to this. This is only for my physical TBR. That way I can see how much I've read throughout the year. And then every month we're going to do like progress monitoring on the goals that I set in January. And we'll see how I do with the year. But let's get into this wrap up. We are going to start off by talking about all the books that I read in January. I read 12 books in January, so not a bad start to the year. However, were any of them of quality? I guess we will find out. The first one that we're going to talk about, I popped a picture of Little Women up here. I do own a very pretty edition and like a physical edition, but I left it at someone's house, so I will be getting it back soon. But for the first little roll up for my books I've already read jar, it's going to be Little Women because I read that. So there we go. You can't even see it. This hasn't even been hauled on my channel. I bought it in January. I bought it on January 1st. So it was like one of the first books that I bought this year. And here's the thing. This is The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum, and everyone says it's super scary and that, like, I really thought there was a girl being held captive in a basement, and I was waiting for anything to happen in this book and waiting, and maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance. But I read the first 50 pages. So I read the first 50 pages. I was correct. Nothing happened and I was super bored. So I did end up DNFing this at 50 pages in. Maybe 50 pages is not enough, but it says a teenage girl's held captive and brutally tortured by neighborhood children. Based on a true story, the shocking novel reveals the depravity of which we are all capable. I don't know. I did not get that. It was very slow. Nothing was happening. And I got bored. So I gave up on that one. Needless to say, that was only a 1 star because, you know, I DNF'd it. Any DNFs this year are going to be 1 stars for me. So, I know I'm not unpopular opinion here, but I really didn't like that book. Okay. Boop. And then for this reading vlog, I read a lot of these books for this reading vlog where I read it like Gabby from Gabby Reads. for Winterween, and this was no exception. I read Stay Sexy and Don't Get Murdered by my favorite murder podcasters, Karen and Georgia. And I don't rate nonfiction, so I cannot give this a rating. If I did, it would be 5 stars though. But it's like a self-help book mixed with a true crime book. And it was so perfect. And honestly, I listened to the audiobook as I read it because there are pictures in here. But the audiobooks, top tier for this. Usually nonfiction audiobooks are really, really good, especially when it's like read by the authors, and their banter was just really fun, and I just full-heartedly loved this book. So there's that, and then we're gonna alright, and here this is, and ooh! The next book is The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson. And I went into this super reluctantly because I read The Nanny by Lana Ferguson, and like it was fine, but I didn't get the hype surrounding that one. But oh my gosh, am I a happy camper that I gave Lana Ferguson another shot with The Game Changer. This was so cute. So you follow Ian and Delilah, but he doesn't call her Delilah. He has a cute little nickname for her. But Ian and Delilah, they have like this complicated history because Ian was Delilah's, or is Delilah's, brother's hockey teammate, and they were best friends when they grew up. And there were things about the timeline that didn't quite make sense. That was the only thing that I would critique about this book, is that like if she's 7 and you're 12, then that's weird. And then, you know, it goes up until like he's 18 and she's 14. Oh, 13. 14. I don't know. There were just inconsistencies about the childhood timeline, but I forgave and forgot about it. Or tried to. But Delilah is this sweet hometown baker. She has a bakery, and she's so freaking just adorable. Like, I love Delilah. And Ian took me a little bit to warm up to because he's kind of grumpy pants, but I loved Ian and Delilah together, and it's like a brother's best friend, you know, type of romance, which is something that I unexpectedly, full-heartedly love. And I love hockey romance. What? Who is she? But I also really love hockey games, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But this was just so adorable. Even though it has those small inconsistencies in the timeline that I didn't love, I'm still giving this book 5 stars because it was so cute. And like, Ian had a very public breakup because he's a hockey star. He's a celebrity. And kind of ruined his image because the media and everyone outside of the relationship between him and, you know, his ex think that they know what happened, but they could be potentially very, very wrong and just putting his name through the dirt. And they're like, oh, well, you know, to get a better image in public eye, you should start dating Delilah, or like fake dating. But we all know that fake dating is just never not gonna work out, like fake dating. But this was just scrumptious. Get it? Because she's a baker. It was also really steamy at parts. The part that I really liked the best, is this a mild spoiler? I don't know. I'll put mild spoiler, I guess, maybe. Was, okay, no mild spoiler. I just really liked how this relationship worked out for brother's best friend and sister, and then like how the brother reacted to things. It was very like realistic, and just it made me smile, and I really, really, really enjoyed this book. It's one of my top 3 of the month. One of my top 3. But the first book I read in 2025 was Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda. I read it. There we go. Here's the thing. I say that I love Megan Miranda, but I've read several of her books, and they're always 3 stars, which is like not bad, but not good either. And this one was highly disappointing. I gave it 2.5 or 3 stars. I think I gave it 3 stars, but it was so boring. I can't even like tell you really what happens. It's about like these cars that go missing, and there's like a mystery, and I honestly just didn't care. So this one unfortunately was a flop for me. But here is our piece of paper. Woo! And then I read this little novella, And Then I Woke Up by Malcolm Devlin. This is kind of like a vampire apocalypse. It is a vampire apocalypse, but it's like mental health, and like definitely takes a look at people and some of the things that people do, and it's just really, really bizarre to me. But it was like very psychological, and definitely got in my brain and made me think about things. But it was also zombies and like a plague. I really, really thought I would hate this book, but I actually gave it 4 stars, and like it's so hard to explain because it's so short that I don't want to give anything away. But the style that it was written in was very compelling to me, because it kind of reminded me of Deadpool, how like mid-action scene he just freezes and starts talking directly to the camera like you're a part of the story too. That was used in here, and like that might have been my favorite part. That was my favorite part. Okay, so here's another one. Woo-oo. Then we have Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I could have swore that I read this, but I know I didn't. So here's the thing. I can't really tell you a whole lot about this one. It's a thriller, and there are 3 timelines. There's the timeline of Amber and her getting into the accident that put her in a coma. There's the timeline of like before the coma, what happened, how did she get there? And there's when she was a kid, what happened to make Amber the way that she was. And it was a whole big, like, is she gonna wake up from this coma? But I loved the chapters that we're hearing now that were like, oh, Amber's in a coma. She can hear her husband and her sister talking. And she can hear what the doctors think happened. And she can react in her mind, but she can't move or anything because she's in a coma. So it was like this helpless, intense, claustrophobic place of mind that I hated being in, but really wanted to go back to. So I hated it, but I loved it at the same time. This was 5 stars, and I can't tell you much other than what it says on the back. My name is Amber Reynolds. There are 3 things you should know about me. I'm in a coma, which I already told you. My husband doesn't love me anymore, and sometimes I lie. This was such a creepy, claustrophobic thriller, and the helplessness that Amber felt, I felt with her, and I hated being there, hated being that helpless, but kept wanting to jump back because I really had to know what happened. So this was another second chance author for me, and I'm so glad that I read Sometimes I Lie. I could see this book being on my top books of the year. I know it's only January. Well, by the time you watch this, February. But, oh my god, this just played with my mind so much. And it was just, I ate this up. Alright, and my last one is Hide and Seeker by Daka Harmon. This is a middle grade hide and seek demon-esque type of book. It was fine. I gave it 3 stars, but I feel like I'm too old to be reading middle grade books, and that's fine. I'm gonna add it to my child's library so my children can read it, but I have no interest in it anymore. And here is the last one of the month. So 1 month in, and that does not look like a lot. I actually have 5 that I don't own physically that I have on digitally. So the first one is Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly. This one I borrowed from the Libby app from the library on audiobook, and this was fine. It was kind of disappointing, I'm not gonna lie, because I love Another Disasters by Anita Kelly, and this is the second in that series, but they're each standalone stories. So this one follows Ben and Lex, and it's a male romance on the Pacific Coast Trail, and it was fine. I just wasn't super thrilled by it. I'm so sorry. It was fine. I just didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I gave it 3 stars, and we're gonna move on. The next one I don't have on my paperwork for some reason, so I guess I read 13 books, not 12. But the next one is Our Enemies with Benefits by Roxy Nowhere. This is the first in a series that I have DNF that series. The book was fine, I guess. I didn't connect with the characters, and I did not care about the characters. And I have to care in a romance. Speaking of romances that I didn't care about, let's just rip off the band-aid of A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. This is the second Megan Quinn book that I have not liked. I actually ended up DNFing this one because I just couldn't get into it, and I didn't care. So I have given up officially on Megan Quinn. I'm sorry. I know everyone loves her, but I just don't get it. Then, let's get the last DNF. Oh my gosh. I'm ruthless. I'm okay with DNFs this year. I just want to read stuff that I like. And I was not liking One Way Ticket by Trisha O'Malley. Jack. I don't remember the main female's name, but Jack is a stalker. He does some very, very creepy and violating things to our main female character. And she's like, oh, it's okay. He's cute. I'm gonna fall in love with him. No, darling. If I'm sleeping and, like, I have all my doors shut and I think I'm private, like, sleeping and, okay, so she's sleeping in the nude. He just, like, how does he, never mind, I know how he got in, but, oh my gosh. Absolutely not. Then I listened to Her by Brittany King. This was wild. I think I give it 3 stars. It was fine. Nothing special. But it was very, like, get in your mind kind of psychological thriller. The characters in this book are very manipulative. And the ending did really, like, I liked the ending, without giving too much away. I think that, okay, see, the audiobook was only 3 hours, so I don't really want to tell you a whole lot. You should go into this one blind if you're going to, but I gave it like a 3. It was fine. I loved the ending, but up until the ending, I was kind of bored. If you like Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, then I think that you'll like Her by Brittany King. The last one was the short story, My Evil Mother by Margaret Atwood. I don't really like short stories, so I need to stop getting them just to have them. It was like 30 pages on Kindle, and it was fine, I guess. I gave it 2 stars. I didn't personally care for it, but I don't like short stories. So I think there should be a video coming up on my channel. Hint, hint. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe so you don't miss it. Where we go through all my Kindle books, we find the ones that are like short stories. Novellas are fine. I like novellas sometimes if they're done correctly, but if they're short stories, like 50 pages or less, delete. I know that I have some audiobooks that are like a half hour or an hour. If they're under 2 hours, delete. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to remember them. And I can't get invested in a story if it's 50 pages or less. I don't know. Unless it's a children's picture book, but that's a whole different thing. Okay, so that was like my wrap up. Going forward, we're going to quickly go over my progress monitoring for the goals that I set in January. Being that it's the end of January, I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot of goals to update you on. but let's try anyway. The first one is read 85% of the books that I've hauled. You haven't seen a book haul yet, but I have bought 10 books in the month of January, and I've only read one of them. So I'm only at 10% success rate. I need to be up to 85 by the end of the year, but that's okay. We still have some time. So The Girl Next Door by Jack Ketchum. I'm counting it as read because I'm no longer interested in it. But technically I've DNF'd one of the new books this month. That's it. Get to 100 Kindle books. I started at 169 Kindle books. I'm at 167. But I do want to do a video where I go through my entire Kindle library and not only look for the ones that are really, really short, for like the short stories, and get those off, but I also actively want to look at my Kindle and be like, okay, if I found this at the bookstore and I had to pay money for it, would I still actively be interested? Because the thing for me is that I do like Stuff Your Kindle, and then I go and I check out all the free Kindle books, and I'm like, oh, add to cart, add to Kindle, add to Kindle, add to Kindle, add to Kindle. I have a problem. The next goal, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I have not made any progress on getting my NetGalley ratio up to 80% or higher. It's still at 32%. I did not read a single Kindle book, a single NetGalley book this month. Okay. Post 52 YouTube videos. I think I'm at 10. I think I'm at 10 this year. Oh, let's see. Playlists. Oh, okay, I'm at 7. I'm at 8. I just need to add my most recent book, or my most recent video to, there we go. Sorry, to that playlist, but I think I'm at 8 now. Or is it still 7? Okay, so it's still 7. But considering that I only want to post, well, only need to post one video a week, and we are the first week of, right now it's January 31st. And I've posted 7 books in 31 days. Hey, your girl is ahead of the curve. Whoop, whoop. Alright, the next one is another social media one. Post to Instagram daily. So, as of today, I missed 3 days of posting the entire month. And usually, my mindset would be, you failed. You suck. But you know what? I don't suck, and I didn't fail. Things just came up in life where, you know, I couldn't. And, you know what? I'm going to be okay with that. Would I like to post every day of the year? Sure, that would be a good goal. Maybe next year I'll hit it. But if I post, even 300 is going to be a stretch. 250 posts on Instagram throughout the year, I'm going to be okay. Like, if I miss the day because I'm sick, or I miss the day because my son's sick, or because I have to go do life things and I'm not connected to my phone, then whatever. So I missed 3 days in January. If I don't post today, then I actually missed 4 days in January. But you know what? It's okay. I'm okay with that. Then for the last social media goal, it's to do at least 6 reading vlogs on my channel. In January, I did my first reading vlog of 2025. It's right here. It's the Gabby one, where I read it like Gabby reads. I really hope she sees it. Okay, so back to, sorry, my husband called, but the next goal was to read 10 out of comfort zone reads in the year. And I don't like young adult or middle grade books, so this was definitely super outside my comfort zone. And my enjoyment of it really resonated with how outside of the comfort zone for me it is. Like I said, it was fine. Hindseeker by Daka Harmon. It was fine. I'm going to add it to my kids' shelves. They can peruse it if they would like. It's just not my style. Okay. And then get my physical TBR down to under 50. Yeah, I'm going to tell you that did not happen. Let's see. I can't tell you the exact number right now because I have another video coming out that's like Balance the Bookshelf that is basically like, okay, well, I hauled all of these and I read all of these. So I started at 98 books, but because I bought 10, I don't know, I'm making this up right now, then I'd be at 108. But because I read 7 physical books, now we're actually only at 101. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. I know that I started with 98 at the beginning of January because I wanted to be under 100 books on my physical TBR by January, and I did it. So I have no doubt that I will get to under 50. Probably, maybe under 50 books for my TBR. That means I need to stop buying books though. Okay, anyways, not a problem. We'll talk about it later. But this one will be updated in a separate video. Balance the Bookshelf every month, hopefully. And then the last prompt was to read all 25 of my 2025, or all 25 of the 25 books I must read in 2025. Here's the thing, I don't remember what books are on that TBR. And I just made it a month ago, less than a month ago. So, maybe I'll have to revisit that because I have zero memory of what's on there, so I can't help you with that one. That means I have to do another video, or I just have to watch that video and put those books somewhere else so that I know that I get to them. But I do remember that there are 29 books. These are my 29 must-read books. I said 25 in 2025, but some of them were part of series. And I know some of them because I'm prioritizing gifts from people. So anything that I got as a gift from someone is on that TBR. And I know that I have two series on there. But I don't remember what else is on there. And I know I literally just did it. So I apologize for not having that information on the ready for you. But don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. But we're always doing bookish things. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.